open a speech in a way that's most compelling. I'm going to give you a 4-part framework that I've used many times to open a speech. Now, I'll demonstrate it for you as well. The first thing that you do is you ask a yes or no question. You ask a yes or no question. This means that whatever question you ask, the audience could answer it simply by raising their hands or putting their hands down. So for example, let's say I were to ask the question, how many of you in the crowd have ever been bullied before? Raise your hands. And then you can assess exactly how many are raising their hands. The second thing that you do is you segue immediately to a story, an immersive story. Let me give you an example. I can tell you for a fact that I've been bullied. When I was just 8 years old, I can recall a 10-year-old pushing me and calling me an awful derogatory term for an Asian, saying that he could blind me with dental floss, saying that he wanted to paint my skin color a paler complexion, and push me to the point where I still have a scar on my right elbow. And every time I look at that, I used to get angry, so angry and ashamed to the point where I didn't even want to leave the house. I can recall my mother saying, Preston, come down for breakfast. We're going to be late for school at 7:30. And I remember locking the door, slamming it shut, burying my head in the pillow, crying and say, I just want to paint my skin a different color and disappear. And that was so hard for me for years, being teased every single year, until one day when I was 15 years old, I was simultaneously training to be a nationally ranked table tennis player in the United States. And I was going through this process and realized that it wasn't actually the intense training hours, 8 hours a day, traveling to China, to Korea, to Canada to improve my skills. That wasn't what motivated me, what excited me. What excited me was after practice, when I would tutor the younger kids, helping them develop their skills, and them immediately smiling the moment they saw that their technique, their new and improved technique, could help them get the ball on the table. And when I saw this and felt this, I felt like a different person. It didn't matter what I looked like. The folks that I were teaching were also white, but they didn't care. They just cared that I did a great job helping them get to the next level. And so I made it my mission to learn as much as I could, whatever made me passionate, and teach it, because I knew that teaching was what made me feel most fulfilled. It made me forget about who I am in terms of my race. And now fast forward, you know what? I'm still working on it, but I'm beginning to embrace it more and more. So you have the segue of the story. You immediately immerse them into what matters. You start with a problem. A problem. You then aggravate the problem. Okay? You aggravate the problem, and then you give the payoff. And if you notice, my story lined up to that framework. It lined up to the framework. It's called PAP. And if you remember PAP, that will help you tell a very engaging, immersive story. Now, what's the third step to opening a speech? Once you've given the story, I want you to have that takeaway. That takeaway specifically for your audience. So note how my story was just about myself. It was just about myself. But remember, anytime we give a speech, we're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it because we want to give our audience a gift, whether that be an emotion, that inspiration to take action, or information. We want to give them a gift. So this takeaway is your gift to them. And what could that be? In the context of my story, it could be, and if you've ever been bullied and ever reflect on those memories poorly, I want you to remember, what is your unique gift? What is it that gets you excited to get out of bed? Identify that and practice it with other people, making sure that you're fulfilling what you're ultimately meant to do and not getting bogged down by those insensitive folks who don't frankly matter. So I want you to write down, and this is the fourth thing, you have a call to action. That call to action is what's going to make them do what you are inspiring them to do. So my call to action would be, I want you to write down your 5 whats and whys to overcome whatever's blocking you from achieving your full potential. For me, that was me feeling ashamed of my race. For you, it might be something else. But this exercise will help you. And what is that? Well, let me demonstrate exactly what that is. So this is an exercise that I want you to do for the next 2 to 5 minutes. Do as best as you can. Don't worry about it being perfect. You can always iterate it on it later. You draw a line down the center and you write down what I want. And then you draw here why I want it. What I want, why I want it. And when you offer your audience what you want and why you want it becomes so clear to you, they will follow. So, for example, if I were to say, I want to teach people communication skills, right? I might write that down. It's a single sentence that aligns to what I want. Then I write one sentence that says why I want it. So I might say, why I want it? Well, teaching makes me feel empowered, knowledgeable, and fulfilled. Imagine that you're identifying 5 core things that you deeply care about and then identifying why. And this is your North Star. This is your mission in life, professionally, personally, that will dictate how you act so that you're not getting blocked like I was. You see, this is exactly how you can deliver a speech following the framework. Again, start with a yes or no question, hook them in, engage them, because our audience's attention is highest at the beginning and then it tends to dip and then it comes back. So how do you keep it high? Engage them. The second thing I did was I told a story, and storytelling is so powerful, right? Because it is an immersive experience. We're all hooked to the pain. We're generating unanswered questions in our audience's minds. And then the third thing, you give them a clear takeaway, that gift, that nugget. The fourth thing, you give a call to action. Let's do this exercise. Give that a try the next time you're giving a speech and let me know what you think.